This is a very public statement that Greg Smith made when he left Goldman Sachs. I assume this is very much out in the public domain because he wanted everybody in the world to hear this. And I don't even know why he bothered to say this because I can't believe any of it myself at all. And, you know, sometimes I used to jokingly put down, what is your job occupation? Well, mine was predator, financial predator. I understand. I never worked at Goldman Sachs, but I totally understand the mentality. But I'll tell you one thing. If I'm working for somebody as an accountant, I'm there to protect their assets. I'm not there to rip them off. I'm there to protect their assets. I'm 100% dedicated all the way. In every respect. Somebody's my client, the same way. I'm there to make them win. So I think a lot of statements he's saying in here is totally false. I'm going to try to make this brief, but there's one line on the end of this that reveals some problem is coming up. It's something that's been said for years. I never read this in the entirety. I was looking at various quotes and I got curious. What did this guy actually say? And this is, public information. He wanted this to be broadcast everywhere. Why I'm leaving Goldman Sachs. And, I don't think too badly of Goldman Sachs. You know what? I'll tell you what I think badly of. It's just me. Monsanto. I can't stand Monsanto. The people with the GM foods and the herbicides, the crap they put out on everything. Those guys are bad. I don't even mind Goldman Sachs too much, I don't even mind J.P. Morgan, because I understand how commodities kind of work. Yeah, I know they play games with them, but I'm trying to figure out how I can beat them, or beat their game. Not beat them, but just maybe go in a direction they're going sometimes and you win. But anyway, let me get onto this subject because there's an eye-opener on the last line of this. I'll post the link where this is. This is very public information because he wanted this broadcast out to everybody. And I highlighted a couple parts of this to put the problem that he had with Goldman Sachs in simplest terms. The interest of the client continued to be sidelined in the way the firm operates and thinks about making money. That I can't believe. You know what? If you don't make your clients money, you don't have a client anymore. I don't believe that. Because I know that. Because I am 100% geared that way. I've never worked for Goldman Sachs, but I know in my head 110% tunnel vision focus goes in on making whoever I work for, whoever I'm dealing with, them money. I don't play games. I don't believe this statement at all. And actually, he reveals why he left at the end. In my opinion, he gives it away all the way. When a history, this is, maybe I'm being too mean on this, but God, this is just blowing me away. I never read this whole thing. It's just blowing me away. It's like, well, I don't believe it, okay? That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't know, maybe the regular average person thinks this is fine, but, it's like, oh, he's exposing Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs wants to make people money. Yeah, they want to make money, but they do not want to lose clients. They're, maybe to screw somebody else over in the world, but they want to make money, and they want to make money for their clients. There's no doubt about it. When the history books are written about Goldman Sachs, they may reflect that the current chief executive officer, Lloyd Blankfein, and the president, Gary Cohen, lost hold of the firm's culture on their watch. I don't think so. Over the course of my career, I had the privilege of advising two of the largest hedge funds on the planet, 5 of the largest asset managers in the United States, and 3 of the most prominent sovereign wealth funds in the Middle East and Asia. My clients have had a total asset base of more than $1 trillion. I've always taken pride in advising my clients to do what I believe is right for them, even if it means making less money for the firm. This view is becoming increasingly unpopular at Goldman Sachs. And he goes on to different things. And I don't know, God, this is freaking so crazy. I just can't believe this. But and then it goes on with this little story here. You're being too hard on the guy, but it's really, oh, I can't believe this at all. I can't believe this in the least. In my opinion, I just can't believe this is remotely sincere. I just can't buy it. But he goes on to say, when I was first year analyst, I didn't know where the bathroom was or how to tie my shoelaces. I was taught to be concerned with learning the ropes, finding out what a derivative was, understanding finance, getting to know our clients and what motivated them, learning how they define success, and what we could do to help them get there. Exactly. And then, you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I think Goldman Sachs is about that. They are like a predatory farm and all that type of stuff, but are they out to screw their own clients? No, they're not. Their clients are their business. That's their business. God. But I'm going to say this is the real thing right here. This in yellow gives a hint as to really, in my opinion, why this guy resigned. And it's a very, very revealing little thing because it states who he was. Greg Smith is resigning today as Goldman Sachs Executive Director and head of the firm's United States equity derivatives business in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. So what does that tell you? There's got to be some kind of problem coming up with derivatives. So he's distancing himself from it. I wonder when. That's the big question, when. But that's the whole deal with this. There's no doubt. If you're a client of Goldman Sachs, I never worked for Goldman Sachs. I'm not trying to work for Goldman Sachs. I don't want to work up there or anything like that. I don't want to work down here. I'm not trying to play any game like that. I'm just saying, if you're a client for Goldman Sachs, I'll guarantee you the way the game works is the guy that has that client, he wants him to make money. He wants him to make money. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Now, I think there might be a little problem sometimes in a larger firm like this because you might not have the flexibility. There might be things they might encourage, to push on clients a little bit too. But I know my game is make the people money, make them money. That's my whole game. So I take that very serious. And I know Goldman Sachs takes that very serious in general. I mean, it's a large ship, so a couple little things might happen within the ship that probably aren't so great. But what he's distancing himself from is probably, looks like, a problem that's coming up with the derivatives. That's got to be the whole thing. And I just found that to be extremely revealing. Because I was kind of wondering, what the hell is this guy talking about with all this stuff? I mean, I just didn't believe it. It's ludicrous. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say too much mean about the guy, but God, I just can't buy into anything he's telling me on this thing. He's not that stupid. He knew exactly what Goldman Sachs was about from day one. He always did, and people go in there for a certain reason. They want to make money, and the whole game is they want to make their clients money. Yeah, maybe they're competing with other people in the world, but that maybe those people are getting bitten by Goldman Sachs. But generally speaking, all in all, the clients of Goldman Sachs are not getting bitten by Goldman Sachs. That's not true. And he knows this. But this last line is extremely revealing. He was the whole head of the United States derivatives business in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. That tells me something's coming up with that. I just wonder when, and I wonder what. Right now, it's a solid rumor. It's not just a rumor, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen next week. But obviously, he sees something, and he's not telling the whole story. He's distancing himself from Goldman Sachs. He sees a problem coming up. That I can almost guarantee.